Hi guys, so today's video, it's a fun process video for my SaCrafters guest design team project. And right there I'm deciding what part of the paper I want to use for my tag. And I'm using fabric tack, and the paper, by the way, is from Heartfelt Creations. It's the Raindrops on Roses collection. I love that paper pad because it has purples and greens, and it's not typically the types of colors that I use, so I wanted to do something different. So I'm using my fabric tack to put all over my tag, and I was kind of having a hard time at first because it had dried out a little bit. And I love this stuff because it's kind of like, well, it is like cold hot glue, and once it sticks, once it's there, it's there. So I'm gonna grab my craft knife, and you'll see I'm going to be cutting around the tag. And this tag is perfect. It's about 10 inches by 4.5 inches, and I love that it's a thick wooden tag. I don't know, I just like something solid for my for certain projects, and this was perfect. So I'm kind of just trimming that out. I'm gonna keep the whatever I have left over from the paper, and I'm just trimming the ends, the edges, and kind of perfect it a little bit. And then in a second I am going to grab my distress tool from Prima, just to distress the edges and kind of file off the pieces of paper that I might have hanging out. And I love that tool because it really helps smoothing everything out. So I'm just kind of doing that all over, making sure that I'm doing it the right way and that everything is smooth. And then I'm gonna grab my crocodile for the hole at the top of the tag right there, and I'm just gonna put a little hole in, just in case whoever gets it, or if I end up hanging the tag up in my room, I'll have that little hole right there. So now I'm grabbing a Prima fluid chalk ink in the color Knotted Wood to kind of distress the edges a little bit. So now I have this file from Kaiser Craft to file the inside of the tag, or the inside of the hole that I just made. And so I'm using Kate, who is a Prima doll by Julie Nutting. It's also a Prima product. And I'm going to use my Sizzix Stampers, I think they call this Stamper Secret Weapon. So I'm going to ink it up, but I only ink up the dress part. And I'm using Memento black ink and Memento and Tuxedo black ink. And so right there, I'm kind of choosing what pattern I would want for her dress. And I end up with the smallest piece on the paper. So make sure, at least for me, I like to clean off my tag after I've used them. So now, I kind of zoomed in because you couldn't see the stamp right there. So I am going to cut around it. I'm using my Fiskars scissors that I got at Michael's. And I'm just cutting out the dress. And the shape of the dress was really easy to fussy cut, so I do this fairly quickly, and these scissors were perfect. So I'm just kind of cutting around, and I love the pattern of the paper. It just gives it such a cute dress, and you'll see in a minute how it looks on the Prima doll itself. It's very cute. See that? So cute! I love it. So I'm just gonna stick it down. I'm using Art Glitter glue. You can go on their website, it's artglitter.com, to get their glue, and you can get the glue, and the fine tip to it is extra, but it's so worth it. So now I'm just paper piecing my Prima doll, and I'm grabbing my Faber-Castell, it's like a pit pen, and I'm just going along the edges with the black ink, just so I don't like the white showing, so this helps me cheat a little bit. It makes me feel like I've cut it perfectly. So now I'm going to do some Copic coloring. I have my big old bag of Copics, and those are all the Copics that I own. I don't own every Copic in the book, but I'm going to start with the headband. And if you want to know the specific colors that I used, I will have that on my blog either by today or tomorrow. So make sure you check that out if you want to know exactly which colors I've used. But I kind of wanted to show you guys the process as far as how I color. I usually color from dark to light. So right there I'm doing the skin, and I believe I'm using E02, and I'm kind of adding where I think I would have shadows. So now I'm grabbing E00, I want to say, and I'm just kind of going over the E02 and just dragging down that darker color that I have. So you can see that right there, and I'm just kind of, you know, going around. And now I'm going to grab my E000, and I'm going to drag the color from both the darkest color and the medium color, and I'm just going to fill in whatever is blank. And you can kind of see the shading once I color it all. You'll see that in a moment. I love Copic. Now, you don't have to use Copic. You can always use colored pencils. Right now I messed up. I did a boo-boo, so I used the number 0 for the blend. I think it's the blender pen, that's what it's called. And so now I'm using E18, I believe, for the hair, and I usually go from dark to light. So wherever I think there's going to be some shading, that's what I grab. And I believe that's E13. I could be wrong, but I will have a blog post on it, so make sure you check that out. I will have the link to my blog down below. So with E11, I'm going over everything, and I'm kind of feeling like I need another color to kind of fill in those. It just seemed blank to me. So I'm just adding dots with E17, and it kind of makes her hair look curly, and that's what I wanted to do, and I hope I've achieved that okay. But I'm going back with I believe E11 to kind of blend everything out. And look at that, she goes perfect. And I almost forgot to color her shoes. So for her shoes, I'm just going to get I believe like a dark green and a light green. The green color I have, the dark green is YG17, and the lightest green is YG11. So I'm just coloring that in. I really wanted her outfit to match her shoes. Like, I wanted her dress to match her shoes and her headband and everything, and a paper pad. And she's wearing wedges, so I wanted to add a little bit of purple, but you can't really tell. So now onto the front part. I did the color. Everything's fun, but now I get to embellish this tag of mine, and this is probably my most favorite part of making a project. So I'm using this fence from SaCrafters. It's actually a chipboard frame, chipboard fence, and you can get that on her website. So I'm putting that glue everywhere, and I gessoed it with white gesso. So now I'm gonna grab some foam tape, and I'm gonna put it on the Prima doll. And I only, if you can tell, I'm only putting it on the top part of her, because if I put it on her legs, it would be too high because of the fence, if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna stick it down. I only have it, I think her legs is the only part where I don't have foam tape. I have foam tape on her shoes because I didn't want the shoes to just be dangly, if that makes sense. So she fits perfect right there. I just love her. If you haven't tried Prima dolls yet, you should. And right there I'm using this wood veneer piece from SaCrafters, and I gessoed it with white gesso. And now I'm putting my flowers, and I handmade these flowers with the Ariana Blooms die and stamp by Heartfelt Creations. And I will have a tutorial coming up either this week or next week on how I made the flowers. So now I'm just sticking everything down, and I have an idea of how I want everything to look. So I just figured out I wanted to add some leaves. So I got my Heartfelt Creations die. Again, everything will be on my blog. And I pulled out my Cuttlebug, and I pulled out some light green paper. I believe it is Pistachio Pudding by Stampin' Up. It's a nice light green, and it went perfect with this collection. So I'm just running that through my Cuttlebug, and I just love these dies. They're so easy to take off. Sometimes some dies are so intricate that they're hard to take off, but because there's big holes behind the leaves, it makes it really easy. And I like to run mine a few times through my Cuttlebug. Now you don't have to do that, but that's just me. I just want to make sure that it cuts through the first, you know, like right away. So now I kind of like how much fuller it looks with the leaves. So I'm just kind of doing my placement right there, and I just love these flowers. They were so easy to make, and I just wanted to share with you guys that you don't have to buy flowers from somewhere. You can always make your own, and it makes it so, I mean, everything is just comes together so well. So I'm just placing my flowers around. I left that blue flower on the left side. I keep going back and forth if I want to put it on my project or not. So now it's down to sticking things down. I am going to grab some foam tape and put that behind the leaves, because there is so much dimension because of the fence and the lamppost. And so I'm sticking that down right there. Like I love those dies, you guys. So on the parts that I know it's going to lay flat on the fence, I'm just going to put some glue in. I want to make sure that it's down. So I'm just kind of moving things around. And you can kind of see, like I'm kind of placing things around and see if I like it or not. So right there I'm using my art glitter glue. I'm telling you, that glue is awesome, because sometimes I haven't used my glue gun because I've been using that glue, and it holds everything perfectly for the kind of crafts I do. And you've probably seen that glue in a few of my videos now, and I actually get it from my local scrapbook store. But like I said, you can go to artglitter.com, and I believe Heartfelt Creations also carries it, so you might want to check out their website. I do have to say that the metal tip is sold separately. It doesn't come with the glue. So on the top of the tag, I have this word banner that says "A Perfect Moment," and I actually got that from SaCrafters as well. It comes with a whole bunch of them in one pack, and you can use it for more than one project. That's what I love with SaCrafters products, because you know, you can use, like, you don't just get one thing, like, and the price is so, it's right. It's so reasonable, and it's very affordable. So right there, I'm still thinking about that blue flower, if I want it there, and I felt like it was too much. And I'm like, okay, maybe, like, I'm still playing around with it. So I figure out, you know what? That's it. I'm done with my project. So I hope you guys liked it, and I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.